of y'all's time. We are missing a lot of people today. That's 100% on me. We had to move the location once, and then we moved the time once. I also know that this meeting was sort of last second. It's a new program. There's a lot of new stuff going on. Next year, we will have this meeting set way in advance, right? But as you guys will see, we are really rolling with the punches here, figuring things out as we go, and that goes with building the program and playing the sport at the same time. So for those of you who made it, thank you. Those of you who are going to be watching this later, make sure you see us at the next practice so you can get these packets that we've handed out. All right, have everyone that's here, at least one person per family, have you been able to scan this QR code? Awesome. All right, very important you guys fill that out. It's going to be sort of our baseline to contact a lot of you guys outside of what we do near the end. All right, so before we get started, I want to congratulate all of you. You're in rare air. All right, if you're sitting in this room, you're either a player or a parent of the inaugural Originettes, as we're going to call it, flag football team. So that's pretty cool, honestly. All right. Now, with that being said, you're signing up for a trial run at a new sport, okay? Sort of the moniker, the motto you're going to hear a lot this year is fun and flexible. I want to make this sport as fun as possible, but I know many of you play a bunch of other sports, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, but I want to be flexible too, right? But the number one thing I do need you to understand is this is not an intramural. This is a GHSA sport, okay? So when you are on this field, when we're competing, when we are in practice, we're going to have fun, but we're going to do it the right way, okay? One of our coaches is not here. He's currently celebrating an awesome state championship win. Those of you who got to go with us down to Columbus, all right, we have Coach Adam Williams. Yeah, I know, I was pumped. I went down there both times, all right? But yes, super pumped for them. But we'll have Coach Adam Williams helping out. Also with Coach Williams, we have Coach Natalie Coker here as well. She'll be helping out with defense with him. Coach Christina Jenkins is hiding in the back there. She's going to help me with offense. And of course, I am Coach Neal. I am the head coach of this fun operation. Okay, we're in the works right now, but we'll also have Coach Shayla joining us at some point once we can get through that. You guys will figure out I love having nets on the team. It's important to me. All right, I'm going to try to move through this as swiftly as I can and be respectful of your time. I know it's summertime. It's later in the day. A lot of y'all just got off work and you came straight here. I get that, so I want to be respectful of your time. The first thing you'll see in your packets is a handbook. Okay? This handbook is going to outline a lot of our expectations for this program. Now, once we're finished going over this handbook, if you are currently here, there's a signing sheet. I would like to have you guys sign that saying you understand the expectations of that handbook. I know that we have a lot of families not here. That'll just become homework. Once again, we'll give out those extra packets to families that are on vacation or traveling or have other things going on. All right, so the first thing I want to start with is this, fundraising. Right now, we've used just about all of the money that we have from that grant. It took a lot more money than we initially anticipated because GHSA came out with a new rule where guardian loops are going to be mandatory, right? If any of you have seen like 7-on-7 or sort of like the things that go around football helmets for boys, those guardians, we have to wear those around sort of like the front of the head, the temple, and the back of the head, okay? Now, once again, the player fee is going to be zero, right? Zero player fee. We have already purchased those guardian loops for the players. We have everything that the players are going to need outside of purchasing cleats. That will be on you, and if you want anything extra like gloves. We even have mouthpieces, which are also mandatory. But if you want to get your own, that's fine too. We'll just have extra mouthpieces because it never fails. A lot of you at this point, you're raising teenagers, they forget things, right? So when we go all the way to Heritage Catoosa and your kid's like, I don't have a mouthpiece, well, great, you're using this one, all right? So we do have that stuff. Now, with fundraising, what we're going to do, and once again, this is in your packet, we're not going to start just yet, but we're going to do a calendar fundraiser for the month of July, right? For those of you who haven't done one of those before, it's just the day of that month correlates to the donation, right? So it should be fairly easy to go out and find someone to donate $1 for the first, right? Or to donate $5 for the fifth, okay? Maybe find that grandma that always gives in to what you want and ask her for the 31st. You know what I mean? But this money will go directly to your kids. I've already spoken with the coaches. There will not be a dime spent on us. Anything that we wear as coaches, we will buy, right? I know as parents, one of the most frustrating things is to fundraise and go find sponsorships and see that money go towards something that doesn't benefit your kids, right? I'm here to tell you that every bit of money that you raise will go into your kid, right? So whether that's swag or feeding them after a match or maybe even before a match, because we're going to have some long drives for varsity. We're going to have to go to Ringgold. We're going to have to go to Heritage Catoosa. And we're going to have to play the late games for both of those. I think we're going both of those days. I think the people going with us are 5 minutes longer than us. So we just, we drew the short straw. But it's okay. We're going to go win. But that's what the fundraiser is going to be. We'll talk about Booster Club in a bit. We need a Booster Club before we do this fundraiser. Let's see. Uniform expectations. You will be given your uniform the day before the game, all right? I love the idea of wearing your uniform in the hallway. I think that's super cool. So you guys will get a chance to do that. Outside of that, we will maintain your uniforms. We're going to wash them. We're going to do all those things, okay? There will be 0 alterations to the uniforms, okay? 0. You're not to cut anything. You're not to write anything on any of these uniforms, right? They are very expensive. They add up very quickly. So if you do alter that uniform, you will get fined, right? So just take care of it, right? It's our uniform, so don't do anything that you shouldn't do to it. Now, this is the big one, right? This is what I've heard a lot about. I'm not going to go to this stuff on this left side. It's kind of obvious, but it's there if you need it. This is the big one, all right? On the right side, I'm going to say the same thing that I've been saying since the first interest meeting, all right? Now, parents, a lot of you weren't there for it, so now you get to hear it straight from me. I don't want your kid to stop playing what they're currently playing. You will never feel pressured by any member of this coaching staff to stop playing your sport or to skip your current primary sport in favor of flag football. That's never going to happen, right? In fact, this coaching staff and every single one of them that I've interviewed, we are all about the Nets. We are all about the Dragons. We're all about winning and competing and growing in as many sports as these kids want to play, right? Youth is a very brief and fleeting time, right? So these kids should not feel pressured to play only one sport. So as far as we are concerned, we are going to support all the other sports, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to put our money where our mouth is at, all right? If you have a game, right, let's say you play volleyball or you play softball, right, or anything else is going on like game day cheer. If you have a game that day, you go compete, you go win, right? You will not attend our game. You will not attend our practice, especially if you have a game. Got it? So if you have a game, you go compete, you go win, right? Number 2, if we have a practice and your other sport has a practice, go to your other sport, right? You'll see when we get to the calendar, we have some late practices built in for those athletes who can't make it to the normal practices, okay? So go to that practice. Now this is going to be, right, where the flexibility kind of ends, right? After giving those two concessions, if we have a game, I would like for you to be at that game. Okay? That would be my expectation. I would like for you to be at that game. Right? Now, for softball, for volleyball, all right, we have great programs. As we get near the end of the year, I know that the state playoffs start happening, right? We will have conversations with those athletes off to the side, right? If there's a big practice the day before a state playoff game, we'll have a conversation, okay? But outside of that, that is my expectation. Now, one thing you need to understand about me is I'm really big on culture. I see a lot of faces in this room and a lot of faces in here I've either coached already or I've taught you in my classroom, right? And what they would probably tell you about me is this. I really do care about my kids. I genuinely care about them, right? But when I draw a line in the sand, an expectation is an expectation. A standard is a standard, right? If I say that you shouldn't have your phone out in class and you get your phone out in class, what's going to happen? Kenzie, what happens?
Oh, you throw it in the trash.
I throw it in the trash. I'm kidding. I don't do that. But no, right? You're going to get written up, okay? The standard is going to be the standard out here. I am very big on classroom, the way you act outside of the lines. If you are being tardy to class or you have unexcused absences, it will result in sitting out, 100%. You need to be in school. You need to be present. If you have any type of discipline in school, i.e. a write-up or something like that, you will see me. And for those of you that don't know, I come from an Army infantry background. All right, conditioning will not be fun. It'll make you not want to get written up again. It's kind of the point, right? So be right in the classroom. All right, culture is going to be the focus of years 1, 2, and 3. Culture, right? We're going to learn this game. There's going to be a lot of bumps in the roads. We're going to make mental mistakes. Us coaches, we are prepared for that. We know. We understand. But the one thing that will never happen is a culture loss. We're not going to do that. Talk about that in just a second. All right. I like using this graphic. This is a good way for those of you who are parents of multi-sport athletes. This is the reality, okay? This is the reality. And it's color-coded. And no, I'm not trying to throw any shade at cross-country by putting it in purple. I just ran out of colors, all right? So if you're a cross-country athlete, I apologize. I ran out of colors. I did put flag football and Kelly Green, though. That was intentional. So. But outside of that, you'll actually see in late October at one point, we're all playing, right? We're wrestling, we're cheering, we're swimming, we're grabbing flags and flag football, right? Guys, it's going to get frustrating, right? But the number one thing that we can do is support each other, communicate. At no point are we ever going to talk bad about other programs. Are we going to tear each other down? We are going to over-communicate. We're going to annoy each other, but we're going to know what's going on, and we're going to get better. When we sit in this room next year, right, for those of you who I'll get back next year, all right, we're going to be better at this, okay? But I just want you to see this graphic so you have an idea of what you're getting yourself into. Now, if you guys want, you guys can flip over to your calendar, all right? Please understand, once again, I come from a military background, so if the calendar stresses you out, I'm sorry. But I'd like to think that anyone can look at this calendar and understand everything you need to know. In the process, I put a graphic up to kind of guide you. Now, this is something new, all right? I could not turn down this possibility. We have been invited to Gilmer High School for an FCA camp. Okay, an FCA camp. We'll do a devotional at 9 a.m. and then we get to play 4 football games. We'll have lunch at 12:30, and there will be a potential 5th game. The top 4 teams will get to play like a placement match, basically. I don't know where we'll be. I don't know if we'll get a 5th game. But guys, I mean, with us being a brand new program, it is tough to turn down 4 free game experiences. This is what I'll tell you. I'm not going to decide JV or varsity truly until July, right? I'm a big proponent of being honest. Some of you, I do have an idea of where you're going to be, but many of you, I don't know yet, because I haven't seen you play, and I haven't seen you receive true coaching, okay? So come out here and compete. We will have 2 practices a week, right? 4 total practices leading up to it, because this is why. My players in the room, how many of you, how many offensive plays have we put in? You can answer truthfully. What number is it? 0. Yes. It's very tough to play 4 football games with 0 offensive plays in a playbook, right? We can show up, you guys kind of know our defense, right? Like at a very entry level, those of you who played some defense, we can survive defensively. Guys, if we walk out there and try to run an offense right now, we are in trouble, okay? So I need you there. Hear me when I say this. Everyone who shows up on the 17th, as long as you're all green in rank 1, you're going to get playing time. I don't care what your skill level is. I don't care how much you know, right? You'll get more playing time if you know what you're doing, right? Because I can't throw you out there and then we run, I don't know, trips right, jet, something, and you just kind of go, what'd I do again? Like, I might have to pull you off right there. We have to coach you a little bit, right? So the more you can be here in these next 4 practices, the more likelihood you'll have of actually knowing what you're doing when you go out there, okay? But this is the great thing. We're only going to have to pay $100 to Gilmer. They basically just said, and I love this about the FCA camp, we just want money to cover y'all's food, right? So that's pretty cool. Us coaches, we're going to ref the games. I think we're going to put a lot of money into, not a lot of money, you know, for me a lot of money, but we're going to try and find some covering, a lot of water coolers, you know, Gatorade coolers, stuff like that, because it's going to be hot. So y'all better make sure that you hydrate before this, because who's been on turf in the middle of the summer? How many of you have done that before? Right? It's hot. So we need to be ready for that. On the bottom right, I kind of put who we're playing. Heritage will be there. Rome will be there. Gilmer, obviously. Ringgold. Okay? Most of those teams are in our area, by the way. So we're going to get a free look, and they're going to get a free look at us. The difference is we're going to look very different come the season time. They probably won't. Now, July. We have been very graciously donated a free media day thanks to Mr. Tucker over here. All right, thank you very much. That's awesome. We will do a media day on July 7th. I don't have an exact time yet. It will be later afternoon to evening-ish. That's what I can kind of foreshadow for you. So anyone who has jobs, anyone who needs a ride, that's kind of there to help facilitate. That's going to be the day that we get those pictures in that go in programs, that go on the website, all those types of things, all right? I'm also currently in the process of working something out where we get some videography people there, potentially to where we can have an intro video before game day. I think that would be pretty cool. So I need as many of you there as possible. I need to backtrack, I forgot this. I'm going to be issuing out guardian loops and things like that at the first few practices for FCA camp, all right? I'll also be issuing out jersey numbers and things of that nature, okay? So make sure you're there. Mini camp. This mini camp will be at Roper. The reason for that being is, I mean, it is what it is, guys. I call a spade a spade. Football is sort of king when it comes to using Dragon Stadium, especially using it earlier in the day. Because of that, I really don't want to put the girls out there on the field at like 1 p.m. That's not going to be good for anyone. We're not going to get better that way. So we will be at Roper. These will be slightly longer practices, but the reason for that being is we are very close to go time at that point. This is going to be the last bit of time that I have to, you know, with the athletes to get them ready. Now, something I'm super excited about. I'm working with Brian Jones for something that's called Nets Night. Nets Night is going to be one of our big new culture building traditions that I want to get started here. We are going to work with the rec department to have an exhibition. At this point, we will have JV and varsity rosters, and the JV team will do an exhibition, if you will, against the 2nd through 5th grade team, and the varsity will do an exhibition against the 6th through 8th grade team, right? I don't know about you guys, but I love watching the videos, the events where you see the varsity do stuff with like the Pee Wee kids. I'm a sucker for that type of stuff. So I'm really excited about this event. I want to fill the stands with all Pickens flag football families and cheer these kids on. I think that this will be a cool thing for us to start. And then here's the last thing. My wife, we were talking about ideas and things that we missed from whenever we were playing sports growing up. And one of the best memories are overnight camps and just open gym, right? My wife's a ball player, like a b-baller, so that's kind of where she comes from. An overnight camp is kind of tough to pull, especially in year one, but what we can do is an open field. So we're going to do what's called Just Play Thursdays, okay? Just Play Thursdays. Us coaches are going to set up the field, lay out the flags, bring the footballs, and we're going to walk away. We might go sit up in the press box and watch and just hang out or something, listen to music. But y'all are just going to play. No strings attached, just have fun, right? I feel like sometimes we get away from that. We get into like coaching, we get focused on how little time we have. So we're going to have these things called Just Play Thursday. So on Thursday evenings, whoever wants to come out, we're going to turn the lights on. If we need it at that time, I guess we might need them. And we're going to lay everything out for you to play. You guys can pick teams, y'all, whatever. Just think of it like backyard football. But y'all just get to play. There's no coaches yelling or trying to fix anything. Just play. All right? That'll be July. Yeah, it's on the 7th. No, yeah, that's fine. My bad, guys. Oh, I touched the cord. Oops. In your packets on the calendar, it has media day for the 11th. Just scratch that out for me. You can put it on the 7th. That's on me. All right. August, I really put preseason. This will be all of August and the first week of September. We will do nothing the first week of school, okay? Especially for my freshmen that are upcoming. This can be a hectic time, right? It's enough just to remember where your classes are at. We won't do anything, all right? So you're going to find a couple things. We will do nothing the first week of school. We're going to do nothing over fall break, and we're going to do nothing over Thanksgiving break. Okay, that's your time. Take it. That goes back to fun and flexible. You can't say I wasn't fun and flexible. All right. So nothing first week of school. 4-on-1s. We will start 4-on-1s every Tuesday and Thursday. And I don't know if I wrote it on there. I think I wrote it on your programs or on your calendars. They will be at Roper. Yes, I did. All right, sweet. They'll be at Roper. Now, new GHSA standards state that we can now have not just 2 coaches with 4 athletes apiece, but now they made it 3, which is great for us because we need all the work we can get. So we can have up to 12 players per 1-hour session, and we'll do 2 sessions back to back, right? So we'll have a 3:15 to 4:15, and then immediately after a 4:15 to a 5:15, right? I know we have a lot of kids, but I also know we'll have a lot of people playing softball at that time, volleyball. What I would tell you if you're a softball or volleyball player, like as much as I hate to say this, just don't even worry about 4-on-1s, right? It's softball time or it's volleyball time, all right? Focus on that. Now, if you have nothing going on, I would like to see you at 4-on-1s, okay? This is year 1. We need all the help we can get, okay? So I would like to see you there. We'll work out in the group me, which I'll give a link for that at the end of this, how that works, what shift you go, things of that nature. Especially because I know a lot of my young bucks won't have rides. We're going to put some responsibility on our young leaders to help give them rides over. All right. Now, this is going to be the big thing for me, going back to that culture building process. You will never, and I mean never, disrespect a teammate, a coach, an official. That it's not going to happen, okay? I want you to hear me very clearly. I will not sacrifice our culture for winning. It's not going to happen. I like to use this whenever we talk with the football group. I used to say this the last 2 years, right? I love our kids, right? I love the boys that play football. We've not sent one guy in our school's history to the NFL. Not saying that that doesn't define success, right? But I'm pretty sure that we're batting 1,000 and creating men, husbands, fathers, older brothers, things of that nature, right? So long as that's the percentage, right? Because I'm a teacher, I like data, right? Data's good. We don't do things unless data proves it, right? So long as that statistic remains, I'm going to take that same philosophy with raising young ladies, right? That's why I'm so bent on having, women representing this sport, right? With Shayla joining on, we'll have 3 female coaches. And then, Coach Adam Williams and we're just going to do the best we can, all right? I've got a 5-year-old daughter, so I know I got a long way to go. But it's important to me. Culture is very important. Disrespect, 3 strikes. Number 1, I will condition you after practice. If I find out, and now guys, don't get this confused with accountability. I love accountability. I think we could use some more of it, right? I'm going to pick on you really quick, Reese, but it's like, hey, Reese, your job was this. I need you to do your job, okay? I'm not being mean to Reese, am I? I'm holding you accountable, right? Hey, I can do this to Kane. Kane, that's your trash, okay? That's your locker, that's your trash. You got to pick that up, man. This is our locker room. That's accountability, right? I'm okay with accountability. We good with accountability in this room? Yes. What's not going to be okay, right, is breaking each other down. I'm telling you, number 1, I condition you. Number 2, I will send you home, okay? You will drop what you're doing at practice, you will pack it up, and you will leave. You can call your parent if you don't have a ride. And number 3, I will dismiss you from this team. Okay? A 3rd time that I catch you disrespecting a coach, a teammate, any of those things, you are finished. I do not care what your statistics are. I do not care. Okay? I want to make that abundantly clear. Once again, going back to me as a teacher, please don't test me. I would rather not prove it to you, but I will. Communication, all right? We have taken on 42 players, okay? That is a lot of players, but it is intentional. With how many athletes we plan to have missing because of softball or volleyball or cross country or cheer or anything, at any given time, I could pull up JV members, right? And I could even go so far as to pull some 8th graders next year to play JV, right? But it's all about flexibility. It's all about being able to move kids up, right? So if you're on JV, you better be ready, because if we have a softball game and a volleyball game the same day, you might get called up. You might be riding the bus with us. So be ready. Now, if you have any type of issues with playing time, right? Once again, we're trying to grow young women here. Self-advocate. Go talk to your coordinator, right? So you need to go talk with Coach Williams, Coach Coker, Coach Jenkins first. Ask them, like, what do I need to do? What can I get better at? Why am I not getting playing time? What can I do to get on the field to help the team, right? You go to your coach. Now, if you do that and you feel like you've done what the coach has asked, then the next step, the junior high coaching days, and I've even seen it with the high school. I understand we all want our kids to play, but this is high school. The best players will play, all right? It's on us to find what your kid is good at and how they can contribute, okay? That's going to be a trial and error process for us as well, okay? Because this is a new sport. But understand that if you come straight to us and none of these things have happened before, do not be surprised when the answer you get is, tell the player come talk to me, okay? It's all about growing the kids. They have to be able to fend for themselves. All right, we're near the end here. Thanks for hanging in there. Rank 1. In order for them to participate in the summer stuff, right? The practices, the mini camp, I just need an up-to-date physical. That's the big thing for me, okay? Now, if you want your kid to be able to compete on June 17 at the FCA camp, or even technically, even if it's an exhibition, at Nets Night, and then obviously when the season starts, they have to be all green in rank 1. I've listed all the different things that need to be uploaded in green into rank 1. Your insurance information, sports medicine authorization form, Pickens County School District signature page, emergency medical authorization, and the emergency contact list. When you show up, it'll be all green on there once you're up to date on that. If you have any issues, at the end of this, I'm going to give out my phone number and my email. Just contact me, right? If it's something that you've been trying to do and it's not working, it might be on our athletic trainer's end. There might be something held up, kind of like what we were talking about there. And I'll go talk with him, okay? But if you want your kid to be able to compete, that needs to be done. All right, we'll remember on June 16th to do one final check of rank 1 to see what kids can actually compete at that FCA camp. Cool? All right. All right. Players that are in the room, not parents. Players. Parents, I got you next up, don't worry. If you're a player, I need you to scan this QR code. This is going to be the player group me. All right, the player group me. Parents, I've got a group me for you next. All right, the next slide will be the parent one. I kind of stole something from Coach Bennett that I like. I believe there's 2 circles in any of these good operations. There's us, the coaches, and the kids, and then there's us, the coaches, and the parents. And we're all nets, and we all figure it out. All right, players, we good? Going once, going twice. Cool. Now, parents, this is your time to shine. Show your kids you know how apps work. So this is going to be the parent group meeting. Here in a moment, you'll see at the bottom of this slide, the next big step that we really need to take, and we are going to start it tonight, is developing at least an interim booster club. Okay? This group me, I'm going to find a way to give administrative control over to booster club members so that any information that needs to be divvied out can be done by them. So once we finish this and we finish questions, if you're interested in learning more about the Booster Club or being on the Booster Club, please stay seated. I have slides set up that explain each of the 4 positions so that you kind of know what you're getting yourself into if you're interested in it. I will say it's imperative for us to get the ball rolling with Booster Club, though, for these fundraisers. All right, we good, parents? Awesome. All right, I know it's a lot of information. It's rapid fire. I tried to make it as efficient as I can. Are there any questions that you guys have right now? And don't feel pressured to just come up with one now. I'm going to give you my contact information in a moment. So if you think of one later, you can always hit me then, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. But are there any questions about this?
If we have a student that we know cannot be at the FCA camp, do you still want them at all of those practices?
Yes,
Okay.
100%, because we're going to install offensive plays. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So anything that we do, I would love to have players there, right? It is called FCA Camp Prep, but, you know, prepping for the camp is also prepping for the season. So I would say absolutely, be there as much as you can be there.
Are there any pressing needs that you need right now for the team to get going forward?
Right now, no. Right this instant, like in the next month, no. I was able to use the money in a way that helped us get all of our must-play needs. I think the only thing that I would need would be the $100 at some point, and it would be easier to do this through the Booster Club. Trying to use money through the school, even if it's money we've earned through fundraiser or grants, is a process. There's a lot of steps, red tape you have to go through, whereas a Booster Club, it's much more efficient, and the people who run the Booster Club have vested interests, so, you know, they're more willing to kind of jump and get it done. But right now, the most pressing need would be $100. I would say maybe coolers with drinks and ice in it, and then something to cover our kids whenever they can be covered for that day. But outside of that, we've got flags, we have jerseys. I actually ordered 4 more jerseys. We have mesh practice jerseys, reversible on the way with like Nets flag football here, numbers on the back, black and also white reversible. We've got some good stuff coming so that when we go June 17th, we have what we need. But yes, I will say though, the sooner, I really want to get the fundraiser started sooner because I want the kids to have their swag in time to like wear during the season. And in order to do that, especially when you have this many kids, you kind of need to get that in sooner rather than later. But we can't do that until we have money to do it. So, yeah, I would say those would be the big things. What's up?
Are there any parent or community volunteer needs? Like, for example, in volleyball, parents go through the training to learn how to do the reffing or the scorekeeping or things like that. Are there going to be needs during the season outside of your coaching staff?
Yes, and this would be one of the things that fall in the Booster Club. It would be sort of like, it would be stuff like helping supply food, which we didn't really talk about sponsorship too much. But with sponsorships, there's an area for like food. I would say running the concession stand, which, as a new head coach, that's going to be something I get to learn on the fly. Like, how does a concession stand work? So those of you on the Booster Club with me, whoever it may be, we get to learn together. But it would be stuff like that. The cool thing about this sport is we don't require a chain gang. So that's one less thing that we would have to do. For those of you that come from football, you kind of know it's like the down markers. The first downs are fixed, right? Every 20 yards, they don't move. So we don't need anyone out there to do those types of things. And we will have managers. I've had at least 3 students already volunteer to help manage, and I'll teach them different tasks. But who knows? There might be something that we identify later, especially if a parent has a certain talent that they'd like to offer. I know for me, recruiting is going to be a big deal. Flag football is on the rise, guys. Like, it's going to be in the Olympics. That's really cool, I think. Massive D1 schools like UT at Arlington, Nebraska, Alabama State. These are Division I colleges that are starting up programs on full scholarships. The NCAA has been petitioned to start a program. We have successful local programs. I played college football with the head coach at Reinhardt. So, there's opportunities for these girls to play college ball in a new sport. So, recruiting would be a big thing. Like, if any of you guys are great at videography, or if you're just great at creating recruiting web pages, I'm all for just taking all of our talents together and, putting our kids on a pedestal and pushing them up.
One more.
Go for it.
Will there be a fee for games? I know some sports.
Like a gate fee?
Tennis, you go in, gate fee.
Yes, there will be a $5 gate fee. We will do season passes though. Once again, we want to get the Booster Club going before we offer the season passes. But there will be season passes which will save you money, parents, if you decide to jump on board for that. But we need the gate fee because it pays for the referees. That's the truth. One more thing that we can kind of help with. So if you look at it as I'm helping pay my share for the referees, then, that'd be awesome. But we're not going to give the referees a steak and lobster dinner, so don't worry. We're going to give them a sandwich and a Gatorade and say, thanks, bud.
On your game days, you have like a varsity 1, varsity 2. Is there 2 games per day for the same team?
Yes, great question. That's something I didn't dive into. So for those of you who come from a volleyball background, they call them tri-matches. Game days will usually be 3 varsity teams or just 3 teams in general at a location. There's one game day that's an exception to that. That's when we go to Creekview. We'll go JV and 2 varsities. It's going to be a loaded day at Creekview. But pretty much every other game on there, except for our first home game also, we're doing Gilmer JV, Gilmer varsity, just 1-and-1. It'll be a tri-match. So I don't want want to get too into the weeds, but essentially how it works is if we host, we will do games 1 and 3. That's kind of just the status quo. That's the best way to do it, to be respectful to the teams traveling as well. So we'll do games 1 and 3. The team that has to travel the furthest will usually get front loaded, do game 1 and 2 so they can kind of get on the road and head back. Once again, I kind of noted we're going to have 2 kind of crappy days where we drew the short end of the stick, and we're going to have to play the late game, Ringgold and Heritage. But we'll feel a lot better if we win that game on the ride home. But yes, there will be 3 games per evening, and the games really only last about an hour. You guys will see they're very fast-paced, running clock. Time only stops in the last 2 minutes of each half, right? And it only stops on typical like dead ball stuff, like an incomplete pass, things of that nature. And that's the exciting thing. You know, you're going to get to learn about a new sport as well. But that's a great question. I didn't get a chance to go over that. Anyone else? Like I said, don't feel pressured to come up with one. I'm going to give you my info in case you come up with one later. All right, so my cell number is 770-597-7388. All right, and I'm Coach Neil, Neill. It's an inside joke. I know a lot of you guys are laughing.
Can you repeat that?
Which one?
Phone number.
770-597-7388. All right? Outside of like a handful of you in this room, if you text me, I'm gonna have no idea who you are. So like, if you shoot me a text, just say who you are, you know, which player belongs to you, and I'll save your information. All right, if any of you guys are interested in helping out on the Booster Club, you guys can hang out, stay seated. Anyone else who's like, I got my piece, I'm ready to go, you guys can take off. I appreciate your time. Like I said, if you're interested in the Booster Club stuff, hang tight. I'm going to kind of show you that. I'll give you all a second to leave if you're wanting to, though.